thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I'm often asked the question as to what can I do in my office to maximize all my services? How can I save more money? What can I do in order to have a greater income? What type of services should I render that is most appropriate, certainly legal and ethical, but allow me to take home more money after all said and done? And basically two ways to have all businesses run. One is to lower the expenses, and the other way is to increase the income. It's as simple as that. Either you spend less and you make more. If you spend more and you make less, obviously you're going to have an imbalance and you're just not going to be able to cover the cash flow on a regular basis. If you spend a lot and make a lot, at the end of the day, it's just going to be an even kill. It's just going to be there. Expenses go up, and so does the income. So now they're both over at the same time. So 10,000 comes in, 10,000 goes out. But even then, at that level, you're still okay. Because money coming in, money going out, you're not making any money, but at least you don't owe any money. If you spend more than you're making, now you're in trouble. Because your cash flow is negative, and that means that you're spending more than you're making. What can we do when the income is reasonably set? And there are all kinds of things, as you know, that we can discuss about the income, about increasing services, doing marketing, development, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that can be done. But in minimizing the expenses, there are things that can be done that are very simple, tactical, and indeed almost free. To give you an example. If you know that you're buying an item on a monthly basis, every single month, this is an item that you buy over and over and over again. Let's call that head paper rest. Alright, so on a treatment table, there are paper that you put in there. And that paper is continuously bought. So every single month you buy 3 rolls. And let's say that each roll costs $50. So every month, one of the expenses in your office is $150 budgeted in order to buy the paper for the tables. Now you know it's absolutely necessary, and you know there's nothing that can be done. And this isn't something that you can skimp on. You can't say, well, let's try to reuse it. This is paper where patients actually lay down. It's not something that you could say, is it possible perhaps to cover it up so that we don't have to use the paper? Well, then the purpose is defeated. It's not something you could say, let's use a little less. No, every time a patient comes in, you've got to pull more paper and just tear it up. So therefore, this is an expense that's going to be continuous, that cannot be altered in any way. However, with the advent of the internet today and the cyberspace that we live in, you can actually go into any Google website, any search engines, and type in the name of the paper or the type of paper that you need. You'll be surprised that you will have thousands and thousands and thousands of websites that will vie for your business, that will try to get that business from you. Whatever it is, they will try to get you to buy from them. Now let's say the only difference between the previous company that you were working with and the company that you're working with and the that you find currently, let's say the difference is $10 per roll. So 3 rolls per month, that's $30. In exactly 10 months, you would have saved $300. So in 12 months, in 1 year's time, $360 was saved. Now I'm not telling you anything new on this. This is nothing that you've never heard before. Obviously you understand about saving money or expenses. But often in a business, we spend so much time taking care of the patients, worrying about the scheduling, looking at the marketing and developments and the reimbursements and the co-pays and this, and all those other details. We forget the simplest issues that make us waste money. So looking at that, there's a question which I'm asking. It's interesting that there's something that you do in your office almost on a daily basis, especially in today's economy, in which it costs you typically more money than it should. What is that? I ask you. What is it that you can think of that you use almost every day in your practice that costs you money that you can decrease instantly. I'd like you to pause this video for a minute or two and ask everyone in the room to come back and let me know what that answer is. I can almost guarantee you that very few of you will find it. So please pause the video and tell me what the answer is. Alright? So hopefully you've paused it and now you've come back. So what is the answer? The credit card processing. Every time you take the credit card from a patient and slide it through and swipe it through the little credit card machine, there are fees that you pay for that. There's a transaction fee. Often there is a fee per each and every one of the withholdings. There's a percentage, all kinds of hidden fees there. Maybe there's a fee for the terminal. Maybe there's a fee for you to check. Maybe there's a fee for you to even perhaps at this moment receive the statement. There could be all kinds of fees. Those fees add up at the end of the month. They add up to a tremendous amount of money. Is it worth it? Not really. If you think about that. I had a client call me from New York just a couple of days ago and told me that he's been saving an average of about approximately $45 per month since he checked on his credit card service. Now, if you multiply that 10 months, you're talking approximately $500. So, we're talking here about $600 a year that can be saved just on checking which credit card service you're using. At one of the last seminar, we have brought to you a company. This company has absolutely no affiliations with me, none whatsoever. I am not in any way, shape, or form receiving any money from this company. I'm not getting any benefits from this company, any remuneration, any kickbacks, nothing. Zippo, zilch, nada, absolutely nothing. Other than the fact that my clients are benefiting from them. How do I know that? Many of them have used them. The clients that have used this service can unequivocally say that this has been great. So what you're looking for basically is the advantage, the opportunity for you to be able to save money every single day. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to call this phone number. And once you call this phone number, I want you to ask them what is the advantage of you using their company. Then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make a comparison. Compare one from the other. Find out which one works best. In other words, give them the statement of what it is that you do, the amount of money that you're being charged, and let them make a comparison analysis with the company that you're currently using. So in other words, their company versus your company. And they'll send you a spreadsheet. You know something? I did it. It's interesting, but I did it. I had to do it. I wanted to check. I wanted to make sure. Does this company really work? If so, I want to see. They are saving me hundreds of dollars. Now obviously, pretty much everything that we do at Practice Perfect is credit card. So I'm at a different level than you are, because many of the things that you do in your office is either a cash copay, a cash deductible, a cash service, or insurance checks. But there's plenty of credit cards transactions. Even if we're speaking, as I said before, at an average of $30, $40 savings per month, that's still $600, $700 a year. That's huge. And because the credit cards can fluctuate up and down, the charges can fluctuate up and down, you can imagine what it costs you, especially in today's market, where banks and all agencies are vying for that business, and they're using huge rates. Huge rate. Did you know that the government made it an express law that every statement that you get, and I'm sure you've noticed that in your credit card statement, states exactly the amount of years that it would take for you to pay off the loans or the amount of money that you borrowed using the minimum pay. I was just interesting. I have a daughter of mine, interestingly, I just got a statement. The amount of money that she owes, approximately $6,000, and it said in there, it will take you 42 years at a minimum payment of I think it was something like $72. $72 is your monthly payment. If you pay that off and don't put another charge through it, it'll take you that many years to finish this? This is insane. Yeah, absolutely. Years and years and years and years, because the way the system rolls and the way it's done. The banks have benefited from that tremendously, and so have many agencies, but you don't need to lose. On your end, it's not so much how much it's going to cost your patients, how much it's going to cost to the third party, the one that gave you the credit card. It's your end that matters. It's how much money are you going to save every time you swipe that card in front of the transaction. Don't be foolish about that. Don't be foolish. What's even more so is that often you'll be charged for the machine, but somehow the fee is slided in there and nobody even knows about it. It's interesting. I didn't have a terminal. I did not have a terminal. And for years, I was being charged for it. At one point in time, one of the accountants that I have in my office noticed that I was being charged for this, and I questioned that and said, "What is that?" They said, "Well, I guess it's a terminal charge." When we called the company, found out we never had a terminal. But they showed that we were processing credit card, and they figured, well, we're a merchant, so that must be the way to do it. Well, the company was good enough and honest enough to reimburse me all the money because we had never received the terminal. We had never even ordered the terminal. But no, you understand that if I had not watched those numbers, if we had not been careful about this, we would have been charged that fee. That fee, interestingly enough, didn't clearly state what it was for. And that's why it passed through our fingers. Again, as you can see, I'm real guilty myself of doing some of these things because often we're so busy in what we do, we forget how to do it properly. We're just moving things around. I am dedicated to you. As you know, you call me, I'm right there. Whether it's an email or a phone call or letters or anything that you need, I'm there. I have been there and I will continue to be there. You do the same for your patients. You're there running up and down the hallway, seeing the patients, finishing the documentation, providing reports, continuously giving the best of healthcare, looking up things and paying attention to every single detail so that your patients are genuinely cared for on a regular basis. By doing that, you've done what is the most important aspect of your practice, and that is being the doctor. At the same time, even though you are the doctor, you also have to be a good businessman. A good doctor without at least some minimum amount of business savviness, you're going to lose. You're going to spend more money than you're making. And at the end of the day, who loses? Everybody. You first, because you won't be able to open up your doors tomorrow. Next is your family, because you won't be able to feed them. Then it's your staff, because you'll have to let them go. Then it's all the thousands and thousands of patients that you could have treated had you stayed open and had you been able to afford your office. So as you can see, this isn't just a simple concept of just saving 30, 40 bucks a month. That's great. That's necessary. That's important. And it's unequivocally something that you need to do. We agree. But you see the magnitude of a mistake such as that? Now you may say, well, it's only 30, 40 bucks. How is that guy really going to take the practice under? That's how it starts. Everything in this life starts with a step. You first start losing a penny, then it's $1, then it's $100, then it's $1 million. A person doesn't wake up in the morning and say, let me see if I can blow all my money in one shot. Nobody does that. It's a slow process. They start buying a little bit here, a little bit there, and then things that are unnecessary, and then starting expending in an area which is not quite beneficial. And before you know it, they find themselves with more debt than they are with income. Nobody gets into financial trouble overnight. It's a slow process. It's a descent. Continuous and progressive, but slow. Your job is to ensure that you go on an ascent level. Progressive, consistent, successful, and continuous. And that's what you're looking for. So, I'm making a big deal out of this, so much so that I thought, you know what, it's worth the time. It's worth the explanation on the tape. I need you to pick up that telephone and go to the other company and check them out. Now, you might say to me, I don't know if this is a good company. Fine. First of all, I checked it out myself. So if you trust me, that's where you need to go. Now let's just say my word is not good enough, which I agree. You may want to do a little more research. Fine. Compare. And compare this one to all the other ones. I doubt very much you're going to find something better. Especially when we already have dozens and dozens of our doctors, clients, who are doing it and have called me and said, this is great. I'm saving money. I'm excited. $10, $20, $50, $60, $100, $200 per month. Even $1, that's good enough for me. Because at the end of the year, that's $12. And if you could save $12 a year, that's one step ahead, because that's one free lunch with French fries and Coke added to it. The idea at the end of the day, as you realize, it's about making your office better. And we continuously have to work with each other. This is an easy concept. This is something that's a no-brainer. This is one of those things that you say, if I don't do it today, I'm an idiot. Simple as that. Simple as that. Every day that you're not switching companies to a better company, to one that a credit card processing service that is better, cheaper, less expensive, and less of a headache, is a day that you're losing. Now, interestingly, when I switched mine, I even found that there was going to be a fee, initiation fee, and I thought, what is that for? But yet, even still, with paying this initiation fee, even with a breakdown, I could still see that within a couple of months, I would amortize that fee and get my money back, saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars per year. I'm excited about that because that's the opportunity for me to use that money. Now, what do we use the money for? I mean, you and I know that. You and I come from the same type of background. What do we use it for? Good things. We use it for healthy children going to camp, healthy grandchildren having a great day, gifts that we want to give to our spouses, to people that we love, certain things that we want to buy for all of our family members, parents that are aging, or siblings that are in need. That's what the money is used for. I'm not saying take that money and blow it on stupidities. I'm saying take the money and use it for good things, for people whom you care for, people whom you love, people that you want to be with, people that you want to please, people who have done so much in your life. And if you don't have anybody like that around you, you know what? Give it to a charity of your choice. Find an orphanage where there are children who just don't have in their lives, and give it to them. Regardless of what you do, don't waste it, because that's a crime. Wasting is a crime. Not in my book, in every language, every country, every philosophy, every type of business. Wasting is a crime, especially in today's economy, where we struggle so hard and so much just to ensure that we stay in business. So, you get the point? I know this is a long time spending on just one process, but if I have saved you $1,000 this year, it's worth the 10 minutes. It's worth it. I just gave you a gift. Use it in good health. May God bless you and myself and all of us for a very successful endeavor. May you be blessed in everything that you do. May you be pleased with all the decision. And may you take charge of your life and be proud of every single action that you do. God bless you, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. Thank you.